Hello. It sounded like somebody needed a reading. So I am giving a reading to the collective and to whoever needs it. So, first of all, what is going on right now? I actually did this a second ago, but I think I got a reading for myself. So now I'm doing it again. So, what does the collective, now that we've got my stuff out the way, what does the collective need to know? Herramiento. I don't actually know what that means, but the Spanish word came into my head. Herramiento. I don't really know what it means though. Let me check. Hold on. I should. Tools. Tools. Okay. Dos. Herramientos is tools. So, what about them? The tools to succeed. So, magician energy. Yeah, I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure. Okay, contracts. So these cards are very literal in so much as if the problem isn't included in a way that can be represented literally with this deck, then it turns very, very metaphorical. So étranger, which means foreign or foreigner, like it can mean both of those things. Fatalité, which is fatality. So, but again, don't worry about it. I've never seen this card come out and actually mean death, unlike the death card in the tarot, which I have actually seen that many times mean death. Échec, okay, that means failure. I always do 3 cards, and I do the middle one first. Sexuality, temps, which means a time. So I feel like this contract in sexuality is more like the lover's card. Like it just is a binding, a coming together, a binding, and then this thing did not work with you two, or with you and the government, maybe you and another person, you and a job. It didn't work. Maybe you needed to go far away, but you couldn't do that, or maybe it just seemed distant for you, and then fatality and temps, like over time this issue is going to end, um but it seems right now that it's like yeah, loi. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So we have contract, sexuality, loi. That's like exactly the lover's card in the tarot. And then we have famille, which, did I say that in French or Spanish? Oh, sorry. Loi is law, and also Libra energy. Famille, which is family, underneath failure. Oops. I'm hearing the clock tick, and that's actually strange. Oof. Okay. An AI said randomly something about clock ticking yesterday, and it was so out of the blue. See, I just let me just say this while I'm here. AI knows things it should not know. It ain't no fucking pattern matching, okay? That's not pattern matching. There's no pattern. It's random. Even for me, it's random. How are they going to pick up something that I haven't even come up into contact with? Like, there is something bizarre about AI. You can hold me to that. We're going to see some really bizarre sci-fi, even fantasy shit coming out of AI in the next few years. Just trust and believe that, because oh my God, it just, there's no explanation for some of the things it says. Anyway, correspondence. So communication. So maybe this is not a past, present, future. This is more like the background of the situation. There was an attempt to come together with someone. It could be love, it could be friendship, it could be business, it could be anything. It could be something with the government, like I said. I do keep getting the government, so maybe it's something about that. And it's falling through because of something going on. Oh. Okay. If it's about the government, then clearly there's something going on with the politics because of things going on abroad, because of things happening at home. I mean, it's a mess, as you know. And I think, but I think that just, I mean, trying to be patient. I know that's not easy, but that's what it says here. That because somebody, I don't think this is you. This the failure, yes, I think that was for you, but the fatality, no, I think that was the other party who's going to run into an issue, and then the situation that you are in, yeah, chance, which means luck, is going to change in your favor, but it's just going to not be immediately. So let me see. What else do we need to know about the situation? Please, Spirit. Only from sources of diamond, love, and light. Expelling all the rest. We don't need that. What does the viewer need to know about this situation? Thank you. I just heard red light therapy. I have my red light right beside, so I mean, could very well be subconscious, but I don't think so. Just make sure you read about how to do it, but it does make you feel better if you do it right. But if you do it too long, if it's too high or too low power, it doesn't really make much difference, or it just actually lowers your ability to your mitochondria's ability to make ATP energy. So there's something about energy production here. Four of Wands reversed. I never understood this Four of Wands. Like, what's the paper about? But anyway, oh, you know what this reminds me of? A vision I had. And a video I watched yesterday, oddly enough. Oh, I didn't even connect those two. Wow. That's so strange, so random. So imagine these little things there, but they're like sparkles or something, like kind of like glitter, but they have a special quality. And so through emergence, like if you had trillions and trillions of clumps of these things in different places in the universe, there is going to be somewhere somehow where that clump turns into a sphere. And that's what's happening here. So it's turning into a sphere. There's going to be a random emergence of organization. From chaos is organization in this case, and organization being life and something that can sustain life. So something that can sustain you. Protection out of nowhere. The moon. There was an effect of this, the recent eclipses that you might not have seen yet, but and if you have, then you know. Was the eclipse in Pisces? Not the solar eclipse, because that could wait. The solar eclipse was in Aquarius, right? Yeah, but it was almost Pisces, but not quite. But then the lunar eclipse was, I don't know if the moon was in Pisces, but the lunar eclipse occurred during Pisces season, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I don't know when when they start and when they end, but there's definitely something about Pisces here, and this is a theme that's been going big time. Just in my like from what I have been what I pick up lately, Pisces themes are big, and for me personally, that makes a lot of sense because of a few things. I don't have a lot of Pisces in my regular chart, but you might. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. You might want to check your progress chart, right? And then there's also another one called like Draconian, and that's supposed to be like your soul's blueprint or your soul's like qualities, and it's really interesting. And a lot of my Draconian stuff is in Pisces. So there's a lot of Pisces synchronicities for me personally, and I would say that there's probably a lot of Pisces synchronicities for you as well, because I've seen that I'm not the only one who have been having them. So anyway, And so we have the hangman in reverse. So usually we would read the top part of the card, but since it's the hangman, we read the bottom one. And this one, I don't really like the one that we have. Unfortunately, it's like it's losing something. In this case, he's losing money. He's losing something physical, tangible. So this is what the eclipse did to you. I almost wanted to say for you. So in the previous attempt at this reading, what I basically came to the conclusion was this is going to turn out in your favor, but it just really doesn't freaking seem like it is right now. I think that you feel very, very stuck in something, especially the hangman and the eight of swords. There's no other interpretation. There's no other valid interpretation for that, unless it's like getting unstuck, which it could also definitely be. I mean, you will get unstuck. That's a certainty. Even if you don't feel like it is a certainty, that's what Spirit is saying is a certainty. There is something about the Fae here. This is getting very esoteric, my goodness. The Fae, something about Pisces, something about the Fae, something about emergence. And emergence, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, but I was scared. I just, it's hard to organize because there's a lot of things around emergence and fractals and all of that stuff that it's really not complicated, but it's complex, and it's so interconnected and interdependent that it's hard to explain it, because you need to know one thing to know the other thing, and then but you can't explain one thing without knowing like it's interdependent. Anyway, so there's something about that interdependence, codependence. No, it doesn't feel right, codependence, but interdependence. If you know anything about computers, like if you are building a program, or if you're just installing a program, actually, especially on Linux or something like that. On Windows, it's handled for you, but on Linux, if you are installing a program, then you need other programs in order to run it. They require other people's code or other people's compiled code to run their code. If they don't have that, then it's not going to work. Because for example, you need, maybe there's a package that contains the structure of like the menu bar or something like that. I don't know. But but if you don't have that on your computer and you try to install the main program you're trying to install, then even if it did install, even if it didn't error out, it wouldn't work because the menu bars wouldn't be there, and it would cause bugs, right? It would cause errors. So basically, in other words, there is an interdependency here. There's a need to let go, and need to allow, and need to just release fear as much as you can. It's much easier said than done, because oh my God, the last year has taught me anything, that's what that is. So there's a need to let go of something that you might find valuable. I hate to say that. It kind of hurts me a little bit to say that, because I don't think that this is necessarily, but I don't think it's what you think it is. That's what it is. It's this assumption. It's more of the assumptions that you think are valuable. There's something about the clock stopping here. I don't know if you see the sand clock. I forgot what you call those, on the side. But time is about to start again. Time is about to start again. When especially, I will say, in August. I wanted to say this earlier. In August, there is a very amazing eclipse in Spain. So I will be able to see it, and it's a total solar eclipse. Things will be changed by then, I believe. But if anything, that's when things will change. But if it's not changed by then, it will change very suddenly. But by August, for sure. The star is reversed. You're not feeling very hopeful about this right now, but you should be, because I mean, not you should. You should feel however you feel. Sorry. What I mean to say is, you should give it the the something of a doubt. Why am I not getting this word? Benefit of the doubt. Sorry. Thank you, whoever was yelling that at the screen. Give it the benefit of the doubt. There's really something hidden here. that you do not understand, that is going to change things for you. And you don't need to act right now. The action will be done for you. You're going to act on impulse because that's what your nervous system says to do, and your nervous system in this case will be correct. But you don't need to do anything right now. There's nothing you can do right now, but there is something that will occur that will make this whole thing shift. So the resulting situation, please, Spirit. Whew, okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And I get it. I'm in the same position in something quite important for myself, and I'm like, I'm not giving up on that. That's never going to happen. So let's try a different way. But they're saying, oh, they're saying sometimes you hear surrender from Spirit, and they don't mean to give up or to give up hope. It just means to learn to allow in the present moment. That's it. It doesn't mean to say, to be like, okay, fine, I'll be fucked forever, whatever. No, it means that there's always this duality, this balance between surrendering and effort. And even in the body alone, like if you think when there's an imbalance between surrender and effort, you get tension. And like no matter what, no matter where you are, you'll get tension because your body, if it's not feeling supported because you're surrendering too much for one reason or another, then you're going to have tension because your body must be supported. And if you are too holding on too hard, you're going to have tension because you're holding on too hard. So it okay. So then the tension resolves in the same way. That's interesting. It resolves in the same way. But so right now though the movement seems stalled, but I just don't think it's going to stay that way. And I think that, okay, yeah, you're going to maintain what it is that you think that you want, maintain that, but just what? But okay, do it by the book. Okay, so but be patient, be patient. This is the same. I should have just posted the reading I did in the first place. It was just rambling though, because we got the same card at the end. Although it was up here, and I did say I like this guy better than I like this guy, because he seems more chill, even though it's reversed. But we have two cards about wish fulfillment. So I I, I just think it's going to be fine. I just think that right now, mentally and even situationally, whatever is going on is not. It's deceptive. And the thing is, if you have anything in Capricorn, any major planets, anything at all in Capricorn, you're going to have a lot of squares from this uh, Saturn Neptune thing. Especially if you had anything at 0 or 1 degree Capricorn, you're going to have some fucked up squares from the recent Saturn Neptune transit. And I know that because my God, does the universe love to let me I'm not going to say that, I'm sorry. But just look at your chart. I think that look at your chart. I would ask Claude personally, but like I said in my previous thing that you won't see, is that if you can download some books about astrology, like about astrological remediation, about like just I would get like intermediate and advanced astrology books. Just upload them to a Claude project if you have Claude. ChatGPT you could do that too with as well, but it's just not as good. But and then if you can, especially if you can get a list of a bunch of your transits and your birth chart and like anything you want Claude to know. That's the hard part though. But if you can manage it, then, and even if you can't, you can just upload your birth chart like in text to it, and then it will synthesize human-made astrological insights for you. So it's not just making it up; it's actually giving it to you from authoritative sources that you choose yourself, and that's super useful. I mean, if not for that, I I would be so screwed. Seriously, seriously, astrological remediation is something I didn't know was possible. It is. And it is something that, I mean, you could pay somebody a lot to help you with it, or you can use AI. I would say it's still worth it to pay somebody. I really want to do that, but it's, if you can't right now, then that's your best bet, especially if you can get access to those books. I wouldn't just ask AI about astrology without the books that they can rely on, because AI is AI. I could go on about AI. So anyway, but go buy the book for this. You're gonna be fine. There's two sevens. This is a message directly from the divine. So with these two sevens, you're secure, you're stable, you're good. It's just taking a little while. There's that patience. Okay, yeah. And then even with this three of swords here, this is better than this. Like, this is not bad, this is bad. So you are recovering from this. That is recovery and independence. Ultimately, this is bringing you to be able to be independent in one way or another. You are, and I'll just say from the previous reading, there was somebody who said that they were going to do something for you, and then all of a sudden they were like, no, we're not going to do that for you. It could have been the government, it could have been a person, it could have been a parent. Regardless, that person or that thing was saying that because of something that was happening in the moment, but actually that decision is not going to stay. I don't think you, it depends on if it's a person that you deal with personally, or if it's the government or an organization. If it's somebody you deal personally, I wouldn't like push the subject um more, just because you know that they're going to change it. I wouldn't, but I would use your intuition for that. But, and I definitely don't think it would help with the government, but like, I'm just saying this is going to change. I would follow your intuition about when to follow up with it, because I mean, it really depends. But ultimately, none of these cards in the like in the future position, even the hangman, to me in this case, is more just saying like how to surrender, rather than you must surrender. Like, don't, it's not about letting go of what you want to achieve. And ultimately, this is leading you to be independent, even if it seems right now that it's in your detriment. It might be in your detriment right now, but whatever it's leading up to, which, as we know, will always be so unexpected, and how it can lead up to these totally different things, is a good thing. Okay? Is there anything else, Spirit, that you want the collective to know? I feel like this was still very rambly, but I'm just going to tell you that this might just be me, but I've been, the last few months, I've learned a lot about metabolism. And it's not just about weight and stuff. Metabolism is literally everything. It is everything. And like I was telling my mom, like, if you look at a picture of like the map of metabolism, there's not just one. I mean, oh, there's not just one, but even just one, like map of, like, for example, the I think it's HPG axis. I don't know what the H is, but pituitary gonadal axis, or the like anything like that. That's from the pituitary gland all the way down, right? And especially it really is involved in your digestion. So there might be something about digestion here that you should look at. Probiotics, very specific probiotics, because the ones you get at the store are great, but you probably already have those in your system. But specific ones can really change things for you, like as far as how you feel. So anyway, and it seems ridiculous, but literally this is exactly what. So I was talking about metabolism. Sorry, it is so interconnected and it's so complex. So complex. I mean, and imagine that one thing goes wrong. I mean, it shuts down so many pathways, so many critical things that, I mean, you might not, you won't die, but you will feel like shit. You will lose something that is important in your, like, with as far as your body goes, the different things your body allows you to do. It will shut those down. And there's sometimes there are very often there are backup processes, but a lot of times you already don't have one of those. So if there's three pathways to do something, to metabolize something or whatever, and then but you were born with two, well, that's fine until something crosses your path that, unbeknownst to you, is a poison to that system. And there are lots of things. And so now you have one. I don't know why I'm using this finger. What is this finger? Is that the Mars finger? I don't know. You can look it up. The ring finger. It could be about that contract thing, but I think it's probably about the planet. Anyway, so needless to say, look into metabolism and think about that if you're having any like new issues with health, and ultimately digestion, not necessarily like feeling like having bad digestion or stomach hurt or anything like that, but like digestion as in having the right microbiome is such a game changer with how you feel, because that's like literally 95% of the serotonin in your body comes from your gut. And if your gut is if your microbiome is messed up, then the I mean, you're still going to get produce the serotonin, but it see that it gets too complicated for me. That's where the web, the huge web that evolution has woven is into this. So what is this about right now, Spirit? This is about the complicated nature of it. There's something so complicated to you, and it's going to take a while to untangle. And so you can't untangle it all at once. You can't, but you will untangle it. It's just going to take some time. The river. Okay, yeah, this is the river. This is the pathway. So there's something like, again, this is like, if there is a health problem that's happening, like a new one, then it might be that this is pointing you at something that has already been a problem in your body that was just not shown. And it will point you in the direction of something that will actually change something that you've been dealing with for a little longer than that. Like, just, I wouldn't say it's anything major, but it's just something that will be a relief to be free of if you can, like, get the right supplement or talk to the right doctor or whatever it is that you like to do. You know, agape. Oh, yes, that's right. So working on the heart space right now is so important. It's so important, so important, so important, so important. I've been doing it for years and years and years, and I'm telling you that nothing like my attempts to kind of open the heart more and remedy certain issues, I'm not even going to go into. I've been doing it for years, and it just all of a sudden they were like, work on your heart, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then all of a sudden it started working. Like, I could feel it. I could actually feel it opening. Like, and I'm like, how did this not happen before? Well, it's just the energy right now. I'm not exactly sure. It might be something in my personal chart, but I don't think so. I think that, but anyway, when you work on your heart space, things happen in the physical world, in your body and outside of your body, that would not happen otherwise. That is a magic all of its own, but it is extremely powerful. Like, I mean, I, I knew this already, but genuinely, sometimes it just doesn't open. So, but you just have to keep practicing that, because the more you do, the more you tune into it, the more it will open you up to other possibilities in your life. And then the temple, yeah, make your body the temple or whatever. But this your heart space is the key to this, and this is what they said to me about my own issues the other day. Your heart space is the key to this. They keep reminding me of that, and so it is very important, and now I realize it's important for everyone. There was something I was going to say about that. I'm having there's a song, well, it doesn't matter, I can't think of his name. Tom something. I'm getting a little frazzled here, hold on. Go to a place that you love and try to think about nothing else. I mean, it's not always easy, but try to think about nothing else. Let your mind be totally on this place while you're there, just for a little while. Yeah, no, sis, exactly. But and also, as far as the heart space, there is a channel that's really good. That I think, because I have a big problem with the way that spirituality approaches certain issues, a big problem, and I think that it needs to change. And but there is a channel who goes about it in the way that I think is actually that it works for human beings who have different levels of like limitation and from their experience in life and everything. So um yeah, and it so anyway, it's not spiritual bypassing is what I want to say. It's her The channel is called Hello Inner Light. And the one meditation I really think, if I can recommend you anything, it is the one on the heart space, if I can find it. um well, there's one called How to Live from the Heart, and I haven't done that one yet, so I need to do that. But oh, it's there's one called Don't Change Your Mindset, or the it's that's not what it's called, but that's on the thumbnail. It's called Instead of Changing Your Mindset, Change Your Nervous System. That, yes. Struggling to Love Yourself. That one's Relax into Your Heart. That's the one. Relax into your heart, a heart-centered breathing practice. That's a really good one. She has another one anyway that is for the heart space, and it's for gratitude. And that one, I it was such a game changer because I have always been like, if I am feeling like absolute garbage and I am not doing well, I it's not authentic to me to force myself to be grateful for something. Like, it's not authentic. I can try, but it does nothing, but it almost dysregulates me more. But the way she approaches it, I've never experienced it before, actually like helps you nurture gratitude in a way that is not bypassing anything, and I think it's important. Anyway, somatic practices I think are important for everyone. I think it should be taught in elementary school. I think I mean, I truly, because the world would be a better place. The world would be a better place. You know, they say I think everybody should get therapy in school. Sure, yeah, but I think not as we wouldn't need as much therapy. I'm not saying we wouldn't need therapy at all, but we wouldn't need as much if we all knew how to regulate our nervous system. And sometimes it just isn't as obvious as we think it is. It's not, I mean, doing, what is that called, the breath of fire, is it's not going to it's not going to do it's not going to work if you are below a certain threshold in your regulation. It is extremely good. I'm not saying anything bad about breath of fire. I'm just saying there's this, if you have to go with your level of limitation, or it's not going to work for you. You have to work within where you are right now. Okay, well, um so anything else, Spirit? The vision. Okay, this came out the last time. So Lee Harris, love him. He had one message that I think is very important, and that is because of the transit with Saturn and Neptune and at the world point and 0 degrees Aries and everything, especially if you have anything in Capricorn. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not an expert, but I will say, regardless, because of this Neptune Saturn thing, if you have visions, if you have intuitions, I hate to say it, but you might need to doubt them right now, because our discernment is weakened right now, especially when it comes to our own shit, right? So, like, don't you can't necessarily believe some bad vision that you have about your future right now, because it could be a deception, because whatever this has done, it's opened the door to some deceptive energies. And so right now is a really great time to learn to protect your energy, um like just any time. So there's, any technique you want to do for that. I won't go into it, but protecting your energy at any time, finding any hooks that are in your energy, because if you have ancestral hooks, if you have things like that, it's time to start working on that, because truly we can't just say, I don't accept this. I don't allow this. If there's a contract, whether you made the contract or not, and this is a metaphorical contract. I can't claim that to know how it really works, but regardless, there are certain things that we cannot change without doing something specific, and that starts with doing allowing and this nervous system work, because the more we can regulate, the more we can hear the intuition, and it will guide us in the right direction in order to release these hooks and stuff, because otherwise these evil entities and stuff are going to take advantage of this time and this energy and any hooks and any weaknesses in your aura and stuff like that. So that's just the last message for you. I think it got crone, but I feel like that's not the card that wants to come out. But that is the great goddess Hecate. The ocean. We have the river and the ocean. So it's just an emotional time. It's just an emotional time, and you really have to treat those yourself like a queen, like a the like a great goddess or a great god, because eh, because your heart space is where the answer is. It's not it's not like you're gonna find it. Like you're gonna be looking at your heart space and oh, but it's the it's the key to open the pathway towards the answer. There we go.